power of trying, okay? I wanted to talk about seasons and the power of trying. So here's the thing. It's very interesting because AI is such a beautiful blessing, obviously, to all humans, because it's like we have this automatic personal assistant that does all these things at the drop of a dime, a drop of a hat, at the click of a finger, push of a button. But here's the thing, there's just some things that have to take a season, right? And I really want you to just like take this in, what I'm about to tell you, because it can really unlock some things for you, and it can really propel you into a state where you're willing to maneuver with unwavering faith. Okay? So right now, if you want to start a business, if you want to go after whatever your dreams are, if you want to just try something new, what happens is, because social media has sped up, okay, it has sped up our perception of how long something should take in order to become good at it or to have figured it out. And what happens is you just have this perpetual state of feeling like you're not good enough, of feeling like you're not ready enough, of having imposter syndrome. And what I want to remind you of, and this is, again, AI, artificial intelligence, has not mastered God's design yet. I don't even know why I said yet. It never will happen. But at least in the area of a human being wanting to acquire a skill and having to physically practice it, okay? Yes, an AI can write an email for us now. Yes, an AI can write a book for us now. Yes, an AI can write blogs and run our social media and act as some kind of personal assistant when it comes to tasks. But when it comes to you as a human being, God's design is perfect, right? So there's literally, the answers are in nature. Seasons are about 90 days, okay? Fall, winter, spring, summer, okay? There's a reason why spring, it doesn't happen just in a day. Fall doesn't just happen in a day, and then we bounce to summer, and then we bounce to, like, it doesn't work like that. Seasons are 90 days. Even corporations operate within quarters, which is essentially like a season, okay? First quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. So what makes you think that if a major corporation with millions and billions of dollars, God's design, right? God's, the way that God has Mother Earth evolving is in these seasons of change that usually take 90 days, when you're going through the different phases. So if you are trying to do something and you feel like you tried it for 3 days, you feel like you tried it for 8 days, you feel like you tried it for 15 hours, like, God doesn't even work like that. Corporations don't even work like that. So what I'm finding is a lot of people will shut things down, starting an online business, attempting YouTube, attempting some kind of, side hustle, right? Or, talking about that they're going to get their such and such started. But when they attempt to do it, they see that there's a lot of effort that they have to put in for free. Like, you're not getting any return monetarily from the effort. And then they just say, this isn't working, because they're equating not getting money to this isn't successful. It doesn't work like that. God doesn't even work like that, right? So what I want to encourage you to do is slow down, get grounded, and understand and get comfortable in God's design for the way that you're supposed to learn in each season. So a season could just be learning and messing up. And that could even go on for 2 or 3 seasons. And then in each season, you're up leveling, even though you're still kind of failing. And then all of a sudden, boom, you just see this harvest. Like, you know how, have you ever, this happens a lot. I feel like going into like May and June in LA. I live in Los Angeles, California. And I'll drive by a certain street and there won't be, if you're resonating with this, by the way, go ahead and like the video and subscribe. But I'll drive by a certain area or a certain street and I'm like, wait a minute, there wasn't flowers there just last week. Like, where did those come from? Right? Like, there's these gorgeous flowers that have bloomed in fall. By the way, I didn't, flowers bloom all year long. I just always think of spring, but there's just certain species of flowers that bloom, at different times of the year. So I was like, oh my gosh, that is like, has that always been there? But we don't see the roots growing, right? We don't see the sunlight doing what it's supposed to do. We don't see the rain doing what it's supposed to do. We don't see the dirt and the soil, whole system of what happens a flower bloom. So we just see the flower and we just think it went from zero, it went from nothing to just a bloomed gorgeous flower. But it doesn't work like that. So there are seasons that the flowers go in. So, and then we just see the end result, which is this gorgeous, beautifully colored and shaped flower. We're the same. We are essentially like that as well. And although technology is such a blessing, it's also become somewhat of a curse. So you have to figure out the perfect balance between that, because technology and social media and just the internet will have you feeling behind. And what you're not realizing, they're failures. Now, some people do, which I personally love those channels. Like, I love seeing the trial and error. Like, I thrive off of that. I don't need to see an end result to be super motivated. I actually want to see you try and fail, because I'm like, okay, I'm not alone, So if you're trying to do something, you're like, I'm going into 2025 again, and I still haven't started my side business, or I still haven't gone after that project that I wanted to start, or I still haven't traveled to where I wanted to travel to. I'm still, struggling financially. Take a step back and really discern if you've given yourself an actual fighting chance at being able to figure something out. Okay, so I'll use my personal example. One example that I have in my life is that I, maybe about 5 to 6 years ago, when people were starting to like make money online and post about it and talk about it and get brand deals and stuff like that, I feel like I can do that, right? And I kind of attempted here and there. I would get offers for like, oh, can you shout out our t-shirt for, this amount of money, or just small little things here and there. But I'm like, how are people making full-time income? Like, this just seems difficult. It seems like you have to go viral all the time. It just doesn't seem like I can grab it. And so what I did was I just kept trying. This was a solid 6 years ago. I just was like, I feel like I could figure this out. And I would see other people's journeys, and it would seem like it happened overnight. But then you see them on a podcast, or you listen to an interview, or maybe you run into this person and they're like, oh no, I put in 5, 6, 7, 8 years of work, or I was working a full-time job and attempting to do this. But they don't really talk about that. So it can just feel like there's something wrong with you. Okay, and I'll read your guys' comments as soon as I park. So what I want to say is, it took me 5 to 6 years before, at the end of 2023, I started actually getting like part-time level funds coming in from making sales online. And then this year in 2024, I've actually touched full-time monetary gains from selling products online. And when I look back, I'm like, you know, if I would have just gave up after that first year, or just said, you know what, that's just for the young Gen Zers, you know, that's just not, it's not going to work for me. I'm like an older millennial. It's not going to work. I'd have had this like, woe is me victim. I grew up in a different generation. I'm already too late. I could have done that. But I just was like, something in me, I just was like, now I'm just up for the challenge. Like, I don't even care if, like, how long it takes. Now I'm just up for the challenge. And so it officially took me 5 years. Now, it could happen for you in a year, whatever your project is or whatever. But what I want to say is, give it a 90-day shot. Like, go hard with whatever you've been wanting to do for 90 days. Because what's happening in that first 90 days is you may not even see any kind of fruit. Okay? You may not see any results from all that effort physically, but there's so much benefit that's happening internally. Building up a new habit, learning a new skill, being able to push through the tough days, being able to have a unwavering resilience, being able to still go at it when you just feel down, like you just don't feel. I was watching something and they were saying that, you know, if you think about it, Olympic athletes, they're practicing for 4 years before that final moment when they go up against their opponent. And the biggest thing that sets Olympians apart from, I guess you could say, normal people is that they go for it on the days that they have zero desire to do it. They have zero drive to do it. That's when they go harder on those days. And so I feel like during that 90-day period, even, I just thought about this right now too, even a human being is being developed in seasons. First trimester, second trimester, third trimester. First 90 days, second 90 days, third 90 days, right? The answer is in nature. The answer is in nature. Okay, so if you think that God is making humans in seasons, in trimesters, seasons with fall, spring, winter is happening on Mother Earth in 90-day increments. Corporations are doing their quarters in 90-day increments, and then you've given something a shot for 11 days and you're like, this just doesn't work. You gotta like take a step back. So with Olympians, that's what they do. And then we're like so in awe of like, wow, they're this, they're that. But we don't see, unless they're the type of Olympian that really shows the behind the scenes and they're showing their journey for that 4 years all the way up until that one. And I feel like there is a couple of Olympians that do that. But most of the time that's not happening. You just see the highlight reel, you see the glitz, the glam, the gold medals, the platinum medals, you see, you know, them on the red carpet, you see just like the whole theatrics of it, which that's a part of it, and that's a beautiful aspect to it. But there's a whole, like, what's it called? There's a whole like the roots that are growing deeper that you can't see than what you actually can see. Kind of like a glacier. Like if you look at a glacier on the top, it looks huge, but then you go under with a camera and then it's like 4 times as deep. That's what's really happening. So I feel like if I would have given up, and I'm not saying that my entire dream in life was to sell products online. My dream in life is to help people, and I love helping people resolve problems, resolve issues, have a eureka moment, get confidence, get, you know, healed, get something that will kickstart their health and fitness journey, and then they realize how amazing it is to just feel good, have a lot of energy, and be able to live life like with just all this like radiance and vibrance. And then so through the portal of like selling products that I feel have worked for me, that's what I'm doing. So that was really the drive. If you can tap into something that's bigger than just, I just want to hustle so I can make money, like you are going to get burnt out, and it's going to feel very going to feel very surface and very empty. But what kept me going was that I just was like, every time I meet somebody in person, and we get to, for whatever reason, you know, whether it's a grocery line or whether it's the sauna and the gym or whatever it is, and we sit down and have a conversation, they're always impacted by me. And I didn't understand how I could make funds off of that so that I could do it more. Not so I can just only get funds, but I want to be able to just do that for 24 hours, like all the time. So I was like, okay, let me go ahead and grind it out and work events and work, you know, other jobs and gigs and stuff like that until I can just figure this out. But I actually still gave it a shot. So there was thousands of hours of free energy that I was putting into trying to gain the skill of figuring this out. Research, trial and error, failing, trial and error, looking cringy, feeling ridiculous, looking stupid online, you know, stuttering all over the place, not knowing enough about the product to really get the point across, like all these things. And I'm still going through that, right? I'm still, you're seeing the journey unfold. But when I look back the last 5 years, I'm like, you know what? Thank God I just didn't stop when I didn't see the flower bloom. Like, thank God I wasn't just looking for the flower blooming. I actually just fell in love with the fact that I'm just trying. So just like, if you can tap into something like that for yourself, if you can tap into something like that for yourself and just know that trying is the gift, attempting is the gift, trial and error is the gift, and that's what's going to feed your soul. So you might not get fed with money, but what's feeding your soul is the fact that you are building skills, gaining expertise, gaining mastery. You're also gaining emotional intelligence, because whenever you may, you know, mess up, you're not, my life sucks, I'm stupid, I can't figure this out, it's just everybody else is privileged, you know what I'm saying? You're just like, okay, that didn't work, on to the next. And that's a muscle. Most people are not born with just being able to like bounce back like that. Okay, you know, when you listen to like a lot of the greats on their interviews, you know, it's like they talk about, oh, I failed at this, I failed at that, I tried out for this, I did, you know, Michael Jordan didn't make his first basketball team, but you know, that stuff wasn't documented. And so we're just like, oh, that's a nice story, but we still see them in their blossomed state, right? So it's like it's touching, but because we don't see it, it's like it's still not hitting our soul. So what I want to tell you and remind you of is, starting right now, make a decision to do that thing you've been wanting to do, whatever it is, the fitness journey, eating better, even maybe being a better parent, a better family member, a better friend, whatever it is, something that's just been nudging at you, or you keep trying for 7 days, 13 days. And this is the thing, especially with the health and fitness journey, 2 weeks can be ruined by 1 day. 2 weeks of putting in, okay, every day your eating's on point, you're taking your supplements, you're drinking your water, you're working out, boom, boom, boom. And then all of a sudden you just have like a down day and you just say, forget it, F it, splurge. That 1 day will set you back, because not only does it set you back physically, but it's the mental part too. Because what's happening is you're coping with whatever you're going through with the food, or with giving up. Like, really, to be honest, stress can be healed with movement. But what we usually do is we stay stagnant and we stuff ourselves. Most people, not everybody. So it's just something to think about. Like, it's going to take consistent effort over the course of time. And then when you think about it, when you look back, it's kind of quick. Like, if you think forward with it, like 90 days, like just go for it for 90 days and then judge it if it's something that I still want to do. But then, so it seems like so far away and a lot of effort. But then when the 90 days, but then like just think right now of 90 days backwards, and it went by in a blink of an eye. So it is quick. 90 days is quick to try something. Okay, so just give yourself a fighting chance of being able to really say, you know what? I really went hard with that for 120 days. I really went hard with that for 15 months. And you know what? I actually found that I don't want to do it. I actually found that it's not a passion that I really have. It's just kind of something I used to want to do, but I've kind of grown out of it. Like you'll then be able to, like, I've had a couple of those things and moments too, where it's like, I was like, do I want to really do that anymore? Nah, like I'm kind of over that. Like, I don't think I want to pursue that anymore. Like that was, I feel content. Like I feel fulfilled. Like I don't feel like I'm missing out. I don't feel like I'm like have FOMO or whatever with it. You know, I gave it a real shot, but now because I just kept going with some of the things that I was passionate about, I'm now seeing the fruit of it. So, and now I just want to focus all my energy on that. Okay. It's just your time. You know, you don't want to go into the next year and feel like you just can't figure it out, or you feel like a failure, or you feel like there's something that you're missing that everybody else has and that you just don't have for whatever reason. No, you just have to give it a real fighting chance. Do the extensive research. Get a mentor. Read the books, several of them. That's what it's going to take. And, you know, maybe 500 years from now, or I don't know, AI is moving so quickly, maybe next year, we can just push a button and know 90 days worth of information. But we're just not there yet. We're not there. So it's going to require you to take the time. It's going to require you to put in the effort and be okay with that, and just be excited with it. And just know that you're creating your testimony. You're creating your testimony. I mean, how do we really like listening to the stories where it's like, oh yeah, I was born into a rich family and like pretty much everything was laid out for me and I didn't have to really do much. I just hired like business coaches to set everything up for me, my website, accountants, lawyers, you know, and then all I had to do was just like go into my RYZE office and just take a couple of pictures and post a reel, and then my team's going to do the rest because like my mom and dad like are rich. Like, does that give you any motivation and inspiration? Like, I know I wouldn't care to hear a story like that. I like to hear the grit, the grind, the sleeping in the car stories, you know, and not every story is a sleeping in the car, but where you're just like, look, I was working paycheck to paycheck and this is how I figured it out. Like those kind of overcoming, you know, triumphing, through things. Just that good old, like, paving the way for yourself. Like those stories are the best, and they're priceless. They're gold, they're diamonds. And you can use that and even turn that into something. Like, for example, with me, I gained 30 pounds. In my late 20s, I gained 30 pounds. It's now been 7-8 years. I've never gained the 30 pounds back. So I took that journey of me losing that 30 pounds and put it into an ebook. Now I have an ebook. If anyone's interested on what I did to lose 30 pounds, you can check the link down below. But I now have my story, and I funneled it into something organized and tangible. Well, it's a digital download book. But I now can gift that to somebody. You know what I'm saying? For $4.99, the knowledge that I learned for those years of tears and being confused and feeling down and out and my confidence dropping, you know, from gaining unnecessary weight, I turned that into a way to bless someone for $4.99. You know what I'm saying? It's to give someone a fighting chance to say, hey, look, this girl, she could do it, I could do it. This woman, if she could do it, I could do it, right? So you can do all ebooks for any problem that you have resolved in your life. I got a course. I don't want to put the time in. I don't even know how to start. That's doing too much. It's too saturated. That's the biggest thing. It's too saturated. It's too much. There's too many people. No. It literally is not saturated because you're not saturated. Like, your essence, your persona, your attributes, your gifts, like, people haven't seen it yet. So it's not, the market's not saturated because you're there's not a lot of supply. You're the only one of yourself. So someone out there is going to need to hear something or hear the story specifically from you, right? So if you want to start your trucking business, if you want to start your baking business, if you want to start, you transition out from your 9 to 5 and just, maybe you're doing what you do for 9 to 5, but then you're like, I could actually start my own business doing the same thing I'm doing. So for example, like, I know a lot of people will do, like, I don't know, medical coding, but then instead of doing it for another company, they start their own medical coding company, right? Or instead of selling insurance for another company, they just like figure that out for themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could even take your 9 to 5 and the hours that you're putting in for someone else, you could actually probably do some of those services. If you are doing hair or you're a barber and you're working in someone else's shop, go for it. 90 days, 90-day increments of just trying to figure it out, and then get your own mini shop and go into business for yourself. And then you're on your own time, your own creativity, right? So it's just like, it's time to just like stop wondering. Let the trying kill the wonder. Like, you don't have to wonder. Now, again, on days that you just want to do nothing, on days that you want to just watch Netflix, on days that you want to just scroll your life away, that's where you have to switch those minutes of your life into going after what you want. So even for me, like, I still haven't figured, I barely touched the surface with being able to sell online. And so I'm constantly listening to podcasts, listening to audiobooks, listening to really long podcasts too, like, almost like I feel like I'm in a coaching session to really like literally writing notes down in my phone and writing notes down like on a notepad and just like being focused, not like scrolling and kind of like having Netflix on the TV and I'm scrolling on my other phone and I kind of have it in the background, the podcast in the background. No, I'm acting like I've signed up for a class at a university. Okay? So that's what you got to do in order to like move the needle. And then, to be honest, even like I said, like if I'm in the shower, I'll put on a podcast about, in the industry that I'm in, I'll put on a podcast about that so I can still sharpen my mind. Like, even if I'm just having it playing, instead of, playing Drake or Future or who else, what other rappers are out there now? Like all the babies that are out there, all the Lil Durk, like all the Lils, all the, I don't know, just all the little mini rappers that, like, instead of playing them when I'm in the car, I'm either I'm practicing how to deliver a message right now. Like, that's what I'm doing right now. So I'm putting it into work. I'm putting it into practice. Okay. Or if I'm not on live, I'm listening to something that's going to sharpen my mind to get better at the stuff that I have going on right now in my entrepreneurial journey. So you have to maximize your time, take out certain things and put in other things into that time block. Anything that's an energy sucker, anything that's wasting your time, anything that's not going to propel you forward, like, you gotta lock in, you gotta check in. This goes for, it doesn't matter if you're 18, 43, 52, like, it's just time. It's time to lock in. You literally do not know when things could shift quickly, whether it's because of a physical issue, whether it's because family circumstances, life, financial circumstances, because all of a sudden, you just never know. So do it right now while you have the time, the energy, the mental capacity to go for it. Do it in 90. And then I would say after about 4 times of 90-day increments, which means a year, then contemplate if you're like, you know what, am I at the brink where I'm going to go even harder, or should I maybe pivot a little bit? That's just what it is. We're humans. We operate in seasons, and AI and the internet feels like it has been that we need to, that we're something, that we're too late, that we're always just like kind of a little bit too late. No. Okay. If I would have thought that, I've been going on live for 4 years now, and I just got barely monetized, like where I can get like super chats, like, you know, donations, like on the live and stuff. I just got that access. I'm still not monetized with like putting ads on my videos, but that's not what's driving me. What's driving me is that I get to help somebody. Like someone can pop into my live and be like, you know what, that really changed the course of my day. Like I'm ready to attack the day now. Like, because I listened to Ciana. That's the payment for me. That's what's made me push on. And then I'm just trying, right? Like I'm just trying to articulate better. I'm trying to not say as much, even though it's gonna happen. I'm trying not to say like this, like oh my god, like, you know, I'm from California. It is what it is. It's a part of my Californian DNA makeup, but I'll listen to a video. You know what? Maybe I could do a little better toning down the like. After every third word is a like. Let me chill. Let me just slow down. I'm excited to get this message out, but let me slow down. You know what I'm saying? So I'm doing little tiny refinements every single time. And that's what it is. Hi, Holly. I see you. I see you doing blockaroonies. I love it. So that's where I'm at with today's message. That's where I'm at with today's message. It's time. It's cool to try. I might even put that on a shirt. It's cool to try. It's cool to try. Like before the internet, I feel like people just went after it more because there was nothing that you felt like you had to post to about it. So if you failed, it was kind of like, okay, well, I failed, but I don't really like, nobody really has to know. You know what I'm saying? But now that because there's social media, it feels like everybody is already always winning. And so when you're failing in the background and then you're looking at all the wins, it just is, it's a mind, I don't know what to call that. Like, I'm sure they've done, because internet's been around long enough to like do studies now. I'm sure there's studies that have been done on this. But that is really going to mess with your mind if you're just feeling like, and I've gone through that. Where I'm like, gosh, you know, people are talking about they're making this X amount of dollars, this, doing their passions online. And I'm like, I'm 3 years in and I'm barely able to make a couple $100 in a year. Like, I don't understand what I'm missing, but it didn't matter. Everybody's journey is different. Some, they're going to get it in 90 days. Some, they're going to get it in 10 years. Some, they're going to get it in 2 years and 3 months. Like every version of the journey in life is specifically designed the way it's supposed to be designed because it's your journey. Now, there might be something that I excel at in 2 weeks that it might take you 2 years, and vice versa. There might be something that you're like, oh, I've been already set that up. Like that only took me 3 days. And for me, it took 3 months. Like that's what happened with my ebook. With my ebook, I was just so intimidated by like, oh, I got to do this. I got to set up this account. Then I got to write it out. Then I have to like make sure it fits within the lines. And then it's just like so like tedious. Like I'm more of a big picture person. All the details I think are cool, but I like to analyze the details and then look at the big picture. So I think that's why I did really well as a district manager as well, but that's another video. So it took me 3 months. And then when I have met some people or see some people online, they're like, oh, I did my ebook in 48 hours. I just locked in for a whole, and I'm like, but some people are just more computer savvy. They're more tech savvy. They did better research quicker. You know, me, I would like try at it for 20 minutes, take a 2-hour break. Try at it for 15 minutes, take a 3-hour break. Go at it for 2 hours and be so exhausted by the 2 hours, try again in 3, continue working on my project in 3 days. So I see why it only took people a weekend. And now you could do it in a day, to be honest. You could create an ebook in a day. But now I see it because I've done it. And I'm like, oh my God, I was wasting so much time and overthinking and all that. But again, that's everyone's different journeys, right? So it's okay. Like, you're going to nail it in some areas quicker than others. You're going to be slower. And does it matter? This is a really weird, I've never even said this story. This is a really weird comparison. It just popped in my head right now. But when I was in high school, we had Powder Puff, which is where the cheerleaders, cheerleaders and girls, anyone, you didn't have to just be a cheerleader. Girls would play football and then the boys would be cheerleaders. And so I remember being freshman, or I think I was in 8th grade, and I knew about it going into high school, and I was like, I want to do that. I think that's so cool. I was naturally athletic. I had low skill. Like there was no sport I loved enough to like get good at that sport, but I was naturally fast. I was naturally quick, but the skill was like lacking. So freshman year comes, I sign up, right? I sign up. I'm fast, I'm quick, suck at, and I could catch the ball like naturally really well. But I just wasn't good at like the routes, and like just timing was off, and I sucked. But everybody, it's not like a real team. So everybody, you do play, you do get ready to play like your rival school or whatever. But I just wasn't good. But I got, everybody gets to make the team. Now, whether you play a lot of minutes in the team is questionable. So I was put on special teams, I think. I was put on special teams. And like, I was just like a random person in the back that would like, if it gets kicked to me, try to catch it and then run it down the field for a first down or whatever. I kind of forget like all the different attributes of like how it goes, but that's not important. Sophomore year, I'm just a little bit better. Like I'm a little bit better. I understand it. I was going to the football games, and so I would actually just pay attention to the game. Like, the regular high school football games where the boys are playing and it's serious. So I was better. I was still on special teams, but I got to pop in on like defense. I never cared to be offense for some reason. I never cared to be like, I want to catch the ball and make the touchdown. So that's what I did. I was okay. I got some decent minutes in. Junior year comes. It was like I just was suddenly super good at football. Like it was like, because what happened was I became a cheerleader. I did not make it my freshman year, but I made it my sophomore year. So when I became a cheerleader and I was on the level playing field, I think I was so actually like into the game, and I felt like I was like a little mini sideline coach, that something about that, and then me being naturally athletic and then studying like how they would move, like the skill of it. So that's what I did during that whole sophomore year. And then junior year comes, and I just like, they're like, okay, sign up for Powder Puff, and we're all signing up. I'm like, I know I'm barely, I might be a little bit better than last year, but whatever. I just have fun. It's just fun to like play the game, and we just pulled flags or whatever. So the first practice comes, and I just like I literally break out like a shining star. Like, I'm able to catch balls super quick. I'm like running routes. Like, they were like, okay, we're going to have you on special teams as like the person that catches. Like, when there's like 2 people that are designated to catch. Because I was catching the ball. They were, kick it super far. I was able to, calculate where it was going to land, catch it. And then I was able to like see the holes, like see the opportunities out of nowhere. Like, it just like blossomed. So I was like, whoa. And then I liked the defense part. I liked being able to intercept. Like, something about that, I just thought that was so boss. Like, the ball's trying to go to you, but like, I'm still going to get it from you and be able to make a touchdown. So I was so good that I ended up getting an award. Like, there's always like a ceremony after, like, all the practices and the games. I think we play one official game against each other. Like, I think it's junior. What it is, it's freshmen and juniors are on one team, and then sophomores and seniors are on another team. So it's like, a set of older girls and younger girls on one. So we play ourselves within the same school. Then the winning team plays another school, the opposite school. So that's what, I got like I was like recognized. Like, I got a, breakout star, most improved or whatever. And I just was like, but that took, so I know that's like a really weird analogy. I'm actually going to a lunch gala for a charity event. So yeah, basically by telling you that funny, cheesy story of my high school experience playing Powder Puff Girls football is that I just kept going. I kept trying. And it took seasons studying, researching, practicing, and even having the will to do it. Like, the first year, I was like loppy, I was like tripping over my own feet. Even though it was fast, it was like weird. It was like I had all these gifts, but like I didn't know how to use them. Like, it was weird. So instead of getting intimidated, people were laughing at me. People were like, you suck. And I'm like, I know. But like, I wasn't attached. I didn't want to become like, I don't want to go to the NFL. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't attached to the outcome. I just was in it for the fun. But like, I was like, well, if I'm going to do it, I might as well put some effort into this. And then, by, junior year, freshman year went by, sophomore year went by, junior year came. And I did not play my senior year because I ended up being a part of this all-star cheerleading team in the city. So I just didn't have time to play my senior year. But yeah, so I just had a blast doing that, and I have that story now, and I'm reminded of times where I went through seasons to get better at something. Because even me, sometimes I try to rush myself. I'm like, I should already know this. I should already be good at this. I should already be successful in this. And I'm like, you are success. You trying is a success. You attempting is a success. So if you're vibing with me on this, go ahead and like the video. Go ahead and subscribe. Because that's what it is. That's what it's we're going to like need to unhypnotize ourselves from like the AI social media internet world of the facade that things happen overnight. There's like random outliers, random exceptions to the rule. There's a self-driving car. That is so crazy. That is just so wild to me. There's a self-driving car right now that I just passed, but with nobody in it, no driver. There's not even anyone in the back. It's just like the car is just on the street by itself, probably on the way to pick up somebody, I'm assuming. But I just think that it's so wild how we've become, like, I guess you could say hypnotized, but I feel like there's a better word. Just whatever. I'm just going to say hypnotized, but I feel like there is a better word that I'm looking for there. So we got to unhypnotize ourselves and just know that, okay, let me just scale back and just relax and just try and just be happy with trying. So that's what I wanted to talk about. I hope you guys have a gorgeous, gorgeous day. Get out in the sun if you can. If you don't live where there's sun, go do something cool, different. Go to a new coffee shop. Go to a different lunch spot. Download a new ebook. Just do something new today. And that's really all that I have. So make sure to subscribe, make sure to like. It really does mean a lot when you guys share, because when you guys share the video, it is like letting me know that what I'm talking about is actually helping a few people out there, and it makes me want to keep going. So it's like a co-creation here. So I do appreciate when you guys share my page. Also, sharing my page or any video that you may resonate with, if you share it on your community tab so other people can find it and discover it, that also is super, super awesome. And again, only if you resonate with it. You know, if it's hitting your spirit, then I bet you anything that there's one other person that it can hit their spirit too. All right. Hope you guys have a gorgeous day, and I will. Bye.